Hello there, Will of William Media here, back with another vlogoid type video. This is going to be a sequel to the one I did a little while back about my frustrations with liberalism in the context of some stupid crap that James Lindsay said. This time I want to talk about my frustrations with conservatism. Man, I really hope my pop filter made out of paper towels and a hair tie works, because I might get a little bit heated in this one. Let me cut to the chase. Conservatism is just liberalism with fewer steps. But the Democrats are the liberals and the Republicans are the conservatives. They're not the... Conservatism is just liberalism with fewer steps. There are no non-liberal options in our current political system. Okay? Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, step two. Liberalism is basically a drug meant to make you feel good. It's the political framework born out of Enlightenment philosophy. By the way, when a philosophy calls itself enlightened, that should send off alarm bells in your head, okay? The problem with liberalism, and the reason why it's called liberalism, is that it's always trying to liberate itself from the next guardrail. They liberated themselves first from feudalism, then from monarchy, then from imperialism, then sooner or later you get people who think they can liberate themselves from God. These are the people who think that their ideas, their feelings can supplant the logical structure of the universe. But this isn't my video about my frustrations with liberalism. This is my video about my frustrations with conservatism. Conservatism says, oh yeah, I'm fine with, how far we've come so far on the path of liberalism, but not the next step. And then they inevitably fail to prevent the next step. And sort of like how in the last politics video, the reason why I was inspired to make that video is because of James Lindsay. This time, and I didn't want this to be the case, but the reason why I'm frustrated with conservatism today is because of, and again, I didn't want it to be him, John Doyle. And as I learned in poetry class, I'm going to start my criticism with praise. I think John Doyle is a super bright kid. He's one of the best content creators out there. Like, every time he comes out, it takes him forever to come out with a video, but when he does, it's usually a banger. His video about how Gaston was the hero of Beauty and the Beast, genius. His video about how the civil rights movement was full of shit, genius. His dissertation against pornography, genius. And now he had to wait several months for his latest video, which just came out a couple days ago, and it's a 2.5 hour dick ride on Donald Trump. Again, I like John Doyle. I literally wish he was my little brother so that I could dunk his head in the toilet and give him a swirly. Doyle very often says that, we can't just step back to a previous form of liberalism or else we'll just end up in the same place again, which is a very, very astute observation. The kid doesn't seem to realize that Donald Trump is a liberal. He's a New York Democrat. Was he the best president of my lifetime? Yes. Is that a high bar? No, it isn't. Operation Warp Speed was all we needed to know that he was not on our side. He was never on our side. John Doyle spends all of 2 seconds addressing that concern in his 2 hour plus video. And his defense of Operation Warp Speed amounts to literally nothing. And I did listen to the whole thing all the way through on the off chance that there was something of value in there. He does make fairly salient points throughout, as long as he's inside of the, little, left-right paradigm box. He's always saying that you can't just step back to the previous form of liberalism. Kid, Donald Trump is the previous form of liberalism. He's way more informed about politics than I was when I was his age. It just kills me to see his effort wasted on this. He was in reclusion for I don't know, 5 months or so working on this. Is this what he's been working on? A Trump ad? And I realize I'm actually making this video the day after the 2022 midterms. If it's not obvious by now that there is no democratic solution, then I don't know what else to tell you. It's time to just become the threat to democracy that they're afraid of. If they're afraid of it, then go ahead and just be that, right? And you can't threaten democracy by voting It all starts with culture. Politics is downstream from culture. Is that an overused phrase enough yet? Maybe it's not, because people seem to not get it through their heads yet. We need to practice a form of cultural separatism. And by we, I mean like the probably less than 20% of the people in this country, probably even less than that, who understand that democracy is like a terrible, terrible system. Democracy is cringe. Read some Plato. Didn't you say that, John? There is no saving America. America, like, hit the iceberg, like, maybe even a century ago, maybe more. I take one look at the system nowadays and I'm like, let me speak to your manager. And then I realized the manager is God, so then I decided to start converting to Christianity, but that's a whole other story. I got a whole long video presentation in the pipeline. It's not going to be a long one. It's actually going to be a very short one that's going to just boom, 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 go straight through all the different bullet points of the post-liberal, I guess, political philosophy. I'm dubbing my packaging of these ideas as North Wing philosophy because, I mean, obviously, I don't have to explain the problems with left-wing philosophy. Right-wing philosophy, like conservative, it's just another brand of liberalism. I thought for a while that, oh, the conservatives have it wrong. We have to be right-wing. And I realized that right-wing and conservative are just the same thing. Like, when people talk about the right wing, they're literally talking about, like, Republicans in the Senate. The solution to what ails us is going to be not living in cities, never watching movies or television. They're not making culture for you anymore. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, they're not making culture for you anymore, dumbass. Reestablish the patriarchy. Every family should have a softball team worth of kids. Just like the Pilgrims and Puritans who basically founded this country, sort of. We just have to work on ourselves, just independent of this bloated political system that clearly doesn't function anymore. I know I'm mainly criticizing John's latest video here, but there's another thing about him that has always bothered me since the first time I watched him, and that's his set, his backdrop. On one side, we have the name of his show, Heck Off Commie. It's a beautiful logo, great name for a show. On the other side of the wall, he's got like a bunch of wall hanger American GI stuff from World War II. The Soviet Union was our ally back then. It's like, oh, heck off, commie. Oh, no, who am I saying? Come here, buddy. I'm gonna ironically recycle another one of his quotes against him here. There's some red pills you just aren't ready for. If on the, like, remote off chance that John Doyle watches this video, my advice for him would be this. I'm bigger than you, I'm older than you, I'm stronger than you, I can probably beat you up and take your lunch money. Make videos about culture, you idiot. I'm sorry for calling you an idiot. You're not an idiot, you're a really bright kid, and you're better than this. Keep moving north.